Good morning, everybody. My name is Eric, and it's time for journaling. Today is May 16th, 2023. And for any new people who are just starting out journaling, it's a very simple process. First, just make sure you have some kind of journal or writing material. If you don't have a journal, you can use paper, whatever. I recommend at least an 8.5 by 11 or so that kind of makes sure you get a decent quantity of the writing per day. Or like these books here, these journal books I have are 7.5 by 9.5. Slightly shorter than academic papers, but still worthy enough. The lines are a little denser. So here's the rule if you're new to journaling. It's actually pretty easy. Don't think, just keep the pen moving. Don't worry about grammar, don't worry about spelling, don't worry about format. The key is start in the upper left and fill out the entire page and just keep the pen moving. This is why I used a fast pen, I call it. It's just a normal gel pen, but the width of the diameter, or I believe it's diameter, of the pen is 1 millimeter. If you get the real fine pens, those are nice, and you can use them, and if you prefer those, please, by all means, go ahead, but I find them, I can't move the pen as fast. These just kind of ease on. And as I've mentioned before, when you're journaling, think of it like a jazz performer or an athlete who is in the zone. They're not thinking in front, they're not thinking in back, they're thinking exactly in the moment. That's the kind of mental state you want to get to. And recently I've been doing some research on meditation, and maybe mental state's not the best word, but you want to get to that frame of mind, if you will. So if you have a fast pen and you're not thinking and the key is to keep the pen moving and just fill up the page, that's the easiest way you can do it. And over time, it'll get easier and easier to where you don't have to think about it anymore. When you do that, that's when you start to link up with your thoughts to the pen and eventually to yourself and subconscious, and then it just becomes a very nice activity. So if you're a newbie again, don't think, don't worry, just keep the pen moving. Don't worry about grammar, formatting, or spelling. If you're not sure what to write, write whatever you want. And if you don't know what to write, just write, I don't know what to write. I wish I knew what to write. I will think of something to write next time. The key is just keep the pen moving. And I guarantee you somewhere down the line, something will start to flow. So get your cup of coffee or whatever beverage you like. And part of this process too with journaling, and this is one of the other benefits, and I'll go into a little another time, is creating your environment. This is a nice slice of time. Once again, I always prefer in the mornings, and I think it's good for everybody to do it in the morning, where you can sit and just take some reflective time for yourself. And at most, it's going to be half an hour, 20 minutes, 50 minutes, something like that. Try and fill out at least one page. You know, I'm thinking if you're, high school on up, or junior high. I mean, there's really no guidelines, but whatever you commit to, just try and finish at least that minimum. I always finish at least 1 page or 2 pages or 3 pages. Typically, my average is about 2 pages a day. I can go longer, and usually the only reason why I stop is because I have to get to other things in the day. But if I'm on vacation, sometimes I'll just keep writing, or sometimes I'll write 2 or 3 times a day. It's a nice break. And as you see, this is my writing desk I got not too long ago. Another reason why I point it out is create an environment or a space for you to write. This is not just a place to get the functionality of it done, but it's also a place where it stimulates you, where you feel cozy there or you feel comfortable there. And it has, like in my desk, this is kind of my writing desk, so it has, and my adventure desk, so it has like trinkets from wherever I've traveled around the world or things like that. And it kind of transports me mentally and it gets me into that vibe again. Anyways, enough chit chat. Let's get to journaling. So get your coffee ready, get your journal ready. And today, what I want you to focus on is we're going to write 2 pages today. At least I am. 2 pages today. And what I want you to focus on is really keeping the pen moving, even faster than you normally would. And if your if your handwriting suffers a little bit, that's okay. I just want you to get in the habit of just moving the pen and fill up the page. And that's it. So once again, this is our moral journal. by Moral Press. We sell these on Amazon. If you happen to need one, just follow the link in the description. Help support your channel is greatly appreciated, of course. There we go. And I'm going to finish up my old journal book. And as I keep mentioning, I have a couple more of them coming up. Realistically, they'll be here next week. I already was working on them a couple days ago, but they're a little more, I have this design and two more designs, a little more fun, a little more interesting. Just an upgrade, really. Anyways, enough chit chat. Let's get to work here. So if you're new again, one thing that I always like to do is you want to label a few things, because one day when you look back on this, you kind of have kind of the basic data of what was going on at that time. So location, I put home. Today is the 16th of February, 2023, and the time is 9:11 a.m. I am in Los Angeles, so Pacific Standard Time. Just keep the pen moving. Don't think. Just let your thoughts connect to it. And the more you kind of force it, the less it's going to work. You just got to kind of relax. And that's why it's such a nice kind of relaxing, meditative kind of process. So enough chit chat. Here we go. 2 pages, people. 2 pages. Enjoy the process. Okay, everybody. Well, hopefully everybody finished it all. As you see, my dog Wiley is getting anxious. He wants to go outside. One of my dogs. This is Wiley, by the way. He's more or less a spaz, but he's a good boy. He's a very good guy. And there's another guy over here too, Blanco. One day you guys will meet him. But hopefully you guys finish your 2 pages. One thing I want to point out too, or how you can use this stuff, and I've been doing this more targeted the last 1.5 years, 2 years or so, maybe even longer, maybe I don't remember. When you write, it's not just about emptying your head, especially when you do this for a while. You'll find that you'll kind of go through that, you'll empty your head and your emotions. But the next thing you can start to do is architect or engineer your own ego or your own confidence. And it seems strange, I know. But what you can do is in your journal, you can write, I want to be like this. I do not want to do this. I want to refrain from doing this. Because really, life is about being aware. So as you journal, you become aware of tendencies and things. It could be between relationships and people, friends, work, whatever it may be. And yourself. If you're objective, try and look at yourself, things that maybe you can improve upon. And then write them down. Not just stating them, but also write down what you would want to do. How do you want to be? I want to be like this. And it doesn't have to be, I want to be, because that's something in the future. Write it in the present tense. I am this way. I am this. And it sounds awkward, and it may feel like you're putting on a suit that doesn't fit. But that's the whole point. We're trying to grow to a new area. So write it down in the presence of mind, or in the tense that it's already here. You're wearing it. And our brains work very similar to coding. We upload the code, and it's repetition. And the more repetition you do it, and if we can stimulate more muscle functions at the same time, so we're thinking, we're writing, the more of these we can overlap, the more potent that upload is, the more potent that information will be. This is why they always say when you're learning something, do something physical with it. Get up, write on the board, discuss with somebody, make a shape out of it. You know, whatever the activity may be. If you just sit there and just intellectualize it, it's not going to be as potent. And it'll probably leave your subconscious or leave your short-term memory very quickly. You have to do something with it to kind of etch it in. I'll leave you with one little kind of symbolism or example of this that I remember from movies. For those of you who like the Harry Potter series, I forgot what number it is, but it's the Harry Potter where Harry, they have the Ministry of Magic, and it's the lady who comes from there, and she takes over to school and imposes all these kind of rigid rules. Slightly fascist, you could say. She wears the pink. I forgot her name. And she makes Harry go and write some standards for the young people. Standards are where you had to write sentences over and over again. It's literally a form of just code in a way. But he was writing with a feather, and it didn't write. And what it ended up doing, it kind of ended up scratching in his arm in blood, like a scratch of it. It was pretty morbid, actually pretty morbid for Harry. And that was only in like the middle of the book series, I remember. But the metaphor is kind of clear. When we write, it kind of etches it in the brain. So if you're writing, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to get these tasks in, I'm going to take a trip to Iceland, I'm going to go do this, I want to refrain from doing this, be less emotional. Whatever it is that your thing is that you're trying to move towards, write it down and keep writing it down. It will eventually upload. All right, enough chit chat. I've gone too long. Everybody have a nice day. Enjoy the rest of the day, I should say. It's morning time, and I'll see you again soon. Thank you very much for joining us, and always remember, enjoy the process. Thanks again, everybody. Take care.